Hello guys, and welcome to my first top 10 video on this channel, or my top, whatever video on this channel. Today I'm going to be ranking my top 10 Goosebumps Monsters, I guess. So this is my list, not your list, my list. You can tell me your list in the comments. It helps and the YouTube algorithm, it likes it. But yeah, so this is spanning the whole series, even though I think all these basically, except for one, come from the original series. So, I mean, really, I kind of had to put one from something else, and I was just like, oh, I pick you. So, and that's actually going to be our first one. So, but yeah, so there's going to be some questionable choices. So this is probably going to be one of your more unique lists. Also, we got Roxy in the room with us. She's going to, bump the camera, right? So, anyway, I did try and Goosebumpsify the set to celebrate the show's drop, I guess. So, I mean, we have the Haunted Mask, which is already up here, and then I put Slappy up here for the Halloween decorating video. But for this video, I put up just some books. Night of the Living Dummy 3 was my favorite as a kid. So I don't know if this is my... I think I have a copy of this with the trading cards inside, but I could never find this book, a physical copy of this book, or until after the reprint came out a couple years ago. But so I relied on my school library's copy. But yes, I took that book out multiple times, and then I have the some VHS tapes also. So yeah, which are usually down under all this stuff here. But anyway, so on to my actual top 10 list now. I've wasted 3 minutes of this video. What are you doing? Alright, so my number 10 pick is Captain Jack the Knife from the second Slappy World series book, Attack of the Jack. Fun fact, it's actually set in my home state of Connecticut. So, just a little... it actually probably makes me biased towards picking it. But so actually it's not even just him that I'm picking, it's his entire crew. So in the story, the two main characters, Violet and Sean, they go to their, I think, Uncle Jim's, yep. They go to their Uncle Jim's, and he lives in a lighthouse, if I'm remembering correctly, and they release a pirate out of a Jack-in-the-Box, and he turns their Uncle Jim into a Jack-in-the-Box, and they have to go retrieve his parrot. I think Pip is the name, and then or Canary or something. And they retrieve the wrong parrot, I think. I forgot how they take care of him, but I think a ghost shows up at the end of the story, and they all get scared back into their boxes. But yeah, I thought that he was a cool concept, because we haven't had a pirate antagonist in the series, and so I think that the way he was executed was cool. So anyway, my number 9 pick is Monster Blood. So this one appears quite a bit in the series. It has four main series stories, right? And then it has Monster Blood for Breakfast in Horrorland, and it appears in the TV series, right? It's adapted for the original Monster Blood story, but they can't afford to do any of the other, books, so they do Monster Blood again, which is set on a plane. So there's another story, a completely original story with it. So if you don't know, it's the green goo the monster blood, and when it is consumed, it multiplies first of all, but when it is consumed, it makes whatever consumes it giant. Which at first I almost didn't put on the list because I feel like it's too grand scope almost for the Goosebumps universe. You know, it feels like it's too, literally too big to be in the Goosebumps universe, right? But, I guess if each book is its own separate universe, it's like a whole nother thing, and that's how I'm viewing Monster Blood, right? Because there's some stories that are like they got to be in their own universe, and Monster Blood 3 is definitely one of them. So, but that's my number 9 pick, Monster Blood, and I haven't read Monster Blood 4, but I have it. I've just never read it. So I don't really know what happens. I don't know what the blue monster blood is. So can't really tell you there, but it might appear in the series because there seems to be a giant bird creature. So we will see. But my number 8 pick is Werewolf of Fever Swamp. What did I just see? I don't even know, bro. I gotta be real. I didn't see nothing. There were like 4 stink bugs in the freaking window alone, like on the outside, but like, I mean, stink bugs are awful in this room, like, I'll tell you. They've always been a problem. So, I mean, you'll probably even see one in the background of one of my videos this month, or next month. Hi! Hi, come here. Alright. My number 8 pick is the Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Hi, Roxy. So in the Werewolf of Fever Swamp, the kid, his name's on the tip of my tongue, Grady, he moves into Fever Swamp with his family because they're, I think, at least according to the episode, they are scientists and they are releasing gear into the wild to see how they adjust to the swamp habitat. Excuse me, but they stumble across, Grady stumbles across a swamp hermit who he believes to be a werewolf thanks to hearing about it from his neighbor, Will Blake. Right? But turns out Will Blake is actually the werewolf. Spoiler alert. I know, Roxy. She just made a little sound. Right? I know. Who would have seen that coming, right? But anyway, so everyone loves a good werewolf story, right? So that's why I picked it, because it's a unique, I would feel, werewolf story. And I don't know, I like a good werewolf story. So that's why I picked it. My number 7 pick are the Scarecrows from The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. Now, yeah, they're basically just scarecrows that can move. The Harold the Scarecrow is honestly more interesting, but the Scarecrows are pretty cool. I think the episode does them better than the book, especially with the ending. I just think that the twist is cooler, but that might just be me. Tim Jacobus made them pretty, scary in his cover illustration. I would say, and the episodes went and they faithfully, I would say recreated those illustrations. So cheers to you. The movie, I don't know if they really executed. Also, I do want to say about the werewolf, the TV show did a great job. The movie, I mean, could have been a little scarier, but the TV show did a great job. The scene of them in the barn is great, and that's the real reason why I picked that. Um, number six. Number six is gonna be the one that's gonna get some heads turning. So number six. It's from the blob that ate everyone, but it's not the blob. And it's also from the movies as well. It's the Magic Typewriter. So I know it's not technically a monster, but it's haunted. So I guess it's as much a monster as the haunted mask is, right? So, at least to me. So I'm counting it. I mean, 'cause how freaking cool is a Magic Typewriter? You can write whatever the hell you want. Heck. And it happens instantly. Like, that is so cool. So, I don't know. I'm picking the Magic Typewriter as my number 5 pick. My number 6 pick. But there's not a whole lot to say. It's a Magic Typewriter. So, my number 5 pick is gonna. People aren't gonna like me too much for how low this is on the list, or how high it is, whatever you want to say. The Haunted Mask. I know everybody loves this episode, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, I watch it on Halloween every year," right? For me, I never really, fell in love with it like other people did. And, as a result, it's not that high on my list. I mean, I don't even know if I read the books more than once for it. I'm pretty sure I read both books. I read at least one of them. So, but yeah. So in this story, Carly Beth is sick and tired of being bullied, pushed around, teased, and scared by her friends, and enemies, right? Steve and Chuck, right? And so she wants to get back at them, right, by getting a scary mask and scaring them. And so she finds this old mask shop, and she sneaks around back because none of the masks are to her satisfaction. And she gets more than what she wishes for. We've all had that moment when we've gone into a video store, right? And then we've gone to the back, right? Except for me, because I'm too young to have been to a video store. She finds the haunted mask, and she steals it, because the shop owner won't sell it to her. And then she puts it on, it doesn't come off, fairly simple enough, and she starts to morph into its identity. So that's basically the story, right? In the movies, right, it looks basically just like it does in the TV show. In the TV show, that's the most recognized design that the TV show has done, is the haunted mask. So personally, it's not that great to me. It's not too scary. I mean, yeah, it's scary in concept, losing your identity because, this mask is becoming you. But, it's just, I don't know, not that scary. Just, follow the rules, kid. Anyway, my number 4, Hap and Chip, the Lawn Gnomes. Or, well, yeah, more commonly known as the Lawn Gnomes. I actually never read the book. Because I only found a copy of this book when I was too busy to be reading the Goosebumps books, right? I actually only stopped reading Goosebumps halfway through Slappy World. So I was reading the new issues. But that I started to kind of tune out because, I don't know, some of them just didn't appeal to me anymore. But yeah, Hap and Chip, Lawn Gnomes, they're iconic, in Goosebumps, right? Kind of bummed the TV series isn't doing them the new one, at least not yet. But they appeared in the movie, right? Though they didn't, speak or anything. They did appear for quite a bit, and I feel, I don't know if it was quite faithful to the book, but they were a fun part. And in the second movie, they appeared, but they didn't do much, and it was more. It was clear that one was Hap, one was Chip, because there were only two, or at least that's how it was meant to be, maybe. But in the episode, it's also kind of lost that one's Hap, one's Chip. They're not named or referred to by name, but they definitely are. They start off with two, Mindy and Joe, right? They start off with two, and then they, more start to appear once they discover the truth. But yeah, Light freezes them in the episode. Dog Whistle freezes them in the books. That I do know. I don't know how the book actually ends. So I do know how the episode ends, and Miss Major McCall, he picks up one of the gnomes and goes to the dark pathway between their yards, and the gnome comes back to life and turns him into a gnome. So then they lose the garden competition because they have the freaking McCall gnome in their yard. So number 3. This is another one that's going to get some people, kind of talking. Maybe. The Mud Monsters from You Can't Scare Me. This is an episode I kept going back to as a kid, because I've always had a fascination with, like, Bigfoot and Bigfoot-esque creatures. I just kind of think things that, like, big creatures that live in the woods are just, like, so cool. But, like, I mean, yeah, it's not Bigfoot, but I still think it's, pretty cool. Because, I mean, the Tim Jacobus cover art alone is great. It looks amazing, right? It's chilling, and it's... right? But the episode does it great, too. They're both perfect. And so I just rewatched the episode. I never actually read the book, because it was another one like Revenge of the Law Gnomes where I didn't find it until later on. But it's a great episode. Our two protagonist boys, there's a girl in their class that she's all perfect, and they want to get back at her because she's so perfect. And so they try and scare her, and they use the mud. They go tell her to go out to Muddy Creek, and they dress up as the Mud Monster, right? And then there's actually a Mud Monster. So it's a pretty simple premise, but I just think the Mud Monsters look so freaking cool. I mean, look at them. So that's really all. And then, yeah, now we're getting a figure of them, or of one, so that's pretty cool. That I can afford, anyway, hopefully. Please make it affordable. Alright, so my number 2 pick for favorite Goosebumps monster villain is Slappy, the dummy. That caught you off guard, didn't it? He's not my number 1. You're never going to guess who is. But, so Slappy is my number 2. Right? Slappy is, like, such a freaking cool villain. Right? Or at least he was. Until he started to get magical powers, right? I mean, I love Goosebumps 2 so much, I have a poster of it. But when he started getting these powers in the books, that's when I tuned out. That's when I stopped reading the Slappy World series, I would say. Roxy's slipping. She's slipping. You need to get down. Okay, there you go. Alright. When he started to get the magical powers, that's when I stopped reading. But his execution in the first movie, I would say, is, perfect, at least for the movie it was. It was more of the, Jumanji style adventure, movie. You know, that's just kind of what it was. Even it might not have been the full on Goosebumps tone, but it was more of a fun movie than a scary movie. And so, I'm okay with that, and I'm okay that Slappy was portrayed that way. In the TV series, again, portrayed perfectly. Uh, so I watched Night of the Living Dummy 3 so many times. Bride of the Living Dummy, Night of the Living Dummy 2. Watched those all so many times. I just wish they had adapted the first one. But anyway, so Slappy is portrayed in the books as a dummy with I think an uneven smile, and like a chip on his lip, and he's also got a painted on white chest with a stapled collar, which none of the adaptations have ever had. Not even the freaking book covers. I'm looking at you, Tim Jacobus. I'm just kidding. Your book covers are so amazing, dude. You need to come back, man. I love your covers, man. If you're watching this. But, yeah, none of the adaptations have ever had that. So, but I've picked up on it every single time because I've read those books so many times. Yeah, so he's got the green eyes, right? Yeah, he's got the green eyes on the book, or blue eyes. He's got blue eyes on this book. I think he's got green eyes on the first book. And he's got green eyes on the actual dummy here. So, yeah. But and then in the movie he's got brown eyes, which is kind of weird. But and in the new TV show he looks so beautiful. He looks so perfect. I mean, he doesn't look like his book cover or his TV show or his movie, but he looks like a real dummy, and I think that's great. But anyway, enough about Slappy. We all know about Slappy, right? Everybody loves Slappy. We want to know what my number one pick is. The hot take. The controversial one. Mr. Frickin' Wood. The true star of Night of the Living Dummy. The one that never saw the light of day. At least in adaptations. He is my favorite. And I'll tell you why. So, in the book Night of the Living Dummy, Mr. Wood is Slappy's predecessor. They're always jealous of each other, I guess. They kind of want to copy each other for everything. So, one of them has Mr. Wood, and the other girl wants a dummy, and to copy her. And so she gets Slappy, right? But Mr. Wood comes alive, right? I guess when they read Slappy's words. And he starts wreaking havoc among the family, but not like Slappy does. No. Mr. Wood, he goes as far as to choke the dog, to strangle the dog. Yeah, you heard me. You heard that right. He strangles their dog. So that is enough. It was the 7th book in the Goosebumps series, so he was probably trying to find his footing here, especially with the Fear Street series. I actually don't know the process of which one came first, but that's like it's like actually trying to murder them. Like holy. And I guess that appeals to my more horror side of it, right? And like that, I like the horror of it. Also, his design is, I guess I like his design more. Yeah, it feels a lot more colorful. And he also has the coolest death of the Dummy series. And that's getting crushed by a steamroller. But yeah, he literally chokes the dog. So, and I'd say he's just a lot ruder than, Slappy is. So, there's that too. But, yeah. So unfortunately, he never appeared in the books, not the books, the TV series, the movies. He has appeared in a couple of stories afterwards. He appeared in Slappy's Nightmare, I know that. He appeared in one of the Slappy World books. One of the later ones, maybe Diary of a Dummy or Ghost of Slappy. I'm not sure. But it wasn't really him. It was like a manufactured line of dummies that were him. So Mr. Wood is canonically a like mass-produced toy, and that's crazy to me. Or at least now he is. That's crazy to me. So more you know. But I guess that's a little fun fact that you guys can take to the family. So, but anyway, so that's my top 10 Goosebumps. I guess some honorable mentions I can throw in here is the camera from Say Cheese and Die. Just since that's going to be in the new series, I'm excited to see how it's portrayed. I always thought it was kind of cool, and I even actually went and I bought a Polaroid camera down here. It's not accurate at all to what's in the new TV series, but I just bought it. It supposedly works. I don't have any stuff for it. Giant praying mantis. I also want to put that up there on the list. In the Blob to Ate Everyone. Just because I think those are also some cool monsters. And then Mary Ellen scared the hell out of me as a kid. Slappy scared me. I remember, going out and, staying up all night because I thought Slappy was under my bed. And then I got a Slappy toy. But Mary Ellen scared me. Anything else? Abominable Snowman in Pasadena. It's literally Bigfoot, so I have to include it, right? I just never read the book, so I can't really say anything. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and let's hope that the Goosebumps TV series is executed well when it comes out. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope I enjoy it. And I'll review it once it's over. So, yeah. Insert catchy Goosebumps ending line here.